Head to Safeway this week and enjoy these amazing deals. Clip coupons from the weekly mailer or download them from the Safeway app to breeze through checkout. Get Overjoyed Boutique Dozen Roses for $24.99. Hand-dipped Belgian chocolate-covered strawberries, 4 to 18 counts, start at $7.99 per package. USDA Choice Boneless Beef Top Sirloin Steak Value Pack or Boneless Beef Tri-Tip Roast Untrimmed Twin Pack, just $5.99 per pound member price. Visit Safeway.com for more details. See you in the aisles.
Welcome to the Going to Killing City podcast, a historical look at murder in Kansas City. Here are your hosts, Jamie Green and Alex Greenwood.
Everybody, welcome back. Going to Killing City podcast, episode 3. We're back in the green room. It's so nice to be back here, is it? Right? I
love it. You know, I had fun being with you here or there at the Green Chavine, but I like getting out of the house and going to your place, which actually is like, to me, it's more, my place is more like this faux, tacky, very meta tiki bar look, whereas you've got just, you're like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, man, all these guitars and all this musical gear. It's fantastic. I love it, man.
It is my happy place. You know, I can go down there and play guitar, piano, mostly guitar, a little bit of piano, watch sports, listen, all my vinyls down here. I mean, yeah. I could be.
I love your Insta, because you're always like playing you're spinning some great vinyl on your Insta all the time. I love it. It's great. Now playing, man. I love it. I
got all mine and I got all my dad's stuff. So that's very great. Anyway, fantastic. So let's talk cocktail, Alex. What do you, so the hint was 1989, late at night. Once again, for people joining us for the first time, we do a killer cocktail. The person that tells the story only gives a hint to the other person. And then we have this cocktail, and then we go. So what did you come up with? I'm dying to hear.
Well, okay. The hint was, as you said, it was. What did you say? Middle of the night, 1989.
1989, late at night.
Late at night. Well, I went immediately to the Collins glass section, and I thought about a drink called the Nightcap, and it is so simple to make. It's gold rum, cold brew coffee, and I'm not a big cold coffee guy, but trust me, this works. A little maple syrup, some angostura aromatic bitters, and some Thomas Henry tonic water is recommended. But you know what? I use Schweppes, or I'll use Fever Tree or whatever. You shake all those first 4 ingredients with ice. You put it in an ice-filled glass. You top it with tonic water, and you put a little orange zest twist. It'll cure what ails you in the middle of the night. I love it.
It's yummy. I'm drinking a little right now. It's highly.
What do you
yummy.
think? Do you think it. It's not your typical, is it? You wouldn't typically drink something like this.
Well, I drink rum occasionally, but I'd never thought. You know, I've had some coffee, Irish coffee, right? But I've never had a coffee and rum drink before. But it worked. The maple syrup is nice, right? Kind of just gives it a little.
Because I think because cold coffee. I mean, despite what all the kids drink from Starbucks, the cold coffee, if it's just a cold brew coffee, it's not necessarily sweet. So the maple syrup kind of offsets the bitterness that might come with that, depending on the cold brew you use. I don't do a lot of it, and usually I'm an old man. I don't usually drink anything with caffeine after 2:00. But I figured if it's after, if it's in the evening like this, what we're talking about here, I better prime myself with some caffeine.
Absolutely. And to your point, in my story, somebody's going to get capped at night. So magnifique, you nailed it. So.
You see, now we call the others evil twin, and it's because we have a lot in common. But I think there's also a bit of a psychic connection there. So I'm glad one worked.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait to hear more. I'm going to continue to sip on this thing while you spin
it's so
your
much
tail.
Just for people at home, it's so much easier to be the person who just gets to sit and drink and have the little witty comebacks. It's a hell of a lot of work when it's your week, right? Or your month.
It really is. But you know what? It pays off, though, because you get a tasty drink at least.
That's right. All right. So 34 years ago, this very summer, 1989, in Kansas City was shocked by one of the most brutal murders in recent history for Kansas City. A prominent attorney was murdered late at night at his office downtown at 1111 Grand. But before we get to all that, Alex, let's set the scene because you and I, we graduated from high school in the 80s. So let's have a little nostalgia.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm.
You want to know how much different Kansas City was in 1989, Alex?
Lay it on me.
The Royals were good.
Oh, George Brett.
And Bo Jackson. The Royals won 92 games in 1989. This is the season. And the only reason I put this fact in here, because I know we're both going to do our impersonation because we're both idiots and dorks, but we have a good time. 1989 was the year that Bo Jackson hit the home run in the All-Star game when Reagan was in with Vince Scully at the All-Star game because Reagan had just left office. And that's when Vince Scully goes, and Bo Jackson says, hello, right? And then Reagan's like, well, Bo knows how to hit him. So, all right, you do your bad, Reagan.
Well, there you go again. I can't do a Reagan. I'm terrible.
Well, there he goes.
I could do a Clinton, but I'm not ready. But oh my God, I didn't. You know what? Honestly, I didn't remember. I didn't remember that. But I wasn't a big baseball fan because I wasn't from that time. I was in Oklahoma, and we really didn't have. We didn't have a major league team, so I didn't. I played baseball as a kid, but I didn't know that. So Bo Jackson was here doing that number. All right.
32 home runs that year, Alex, and he had 105 RBI. That's back. He was great. He's the greatest athlete I've ever seen in person. He's
pretty good. Although I've seen a really good athlete on the Chiefs field myself, so I don't know. I'm just saying.
Who would that be, Alex?
He's a damn good baseball player too. But I was going to tell you. So speaking of the Royals, now listen. I'm not saying this was anybody, but I'm telling you something. I was in Independence, okay, and I was coming back from St. Louis. I had a speaking gig in St. Louis a few weeks ago, and I was on my way back, and I wanted to stop at the Duluth Trading store or whatever they built out there, just to look around. I'd heard about it, and I don't know. I wanted to see it, so I was trying to. You know how you're trying to get off 70, and you're trying to peel off and get off there. It's a really, I won't describe it. It's very. You're trying to get off and people are trying to merge with traffic at the same time. It's really not safe. Okay. It's bad. So I have the right of way though. And I have my blinker on and I'm trying to merge over to make the exit. There should be a yield sign. All of a sudden, like a silver convertible Corvette, just neat as you please, just paces me the whole way. I'm like, I'm running out. I'm getting to the point where I have about 50 yards left. I'm going, 55, 60. He's just going because he's going to merge onto the highway and get out of my way. And I look over and I see this guy, some middle-aged dude, or more, cruising through. And I'm like, you son of a, I'm trying, it could have been a bad wreck. And then what do I see in the license plate? It says Brett won. Not saying it was George, but I'm just saying it was somebody. You think it was George? Yeah. I had another run-in with that gentleman when I was dating my wife. I was dating my wife. This was, 20 years ago. And we went to the movies. Do you remember the movie theater at the Plaza? Is it still there?
No, they tore it down.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Well, we went to this. I forget the movie, whatever, but we were on a date. And the movie started, we were enjoying the movie, and about, 10 minutes into the movie, a rather loud trio comes in, sits behind us, kicks our seats repeatedly, won't be quiet, seems very happy. And I look over my shoulder and I said, that guy kind of looks like the Pine Tar guy. And my wife looks over her shoulder and goes, oh my God, it's George Brett. And I was like, he needs to shut up during the movie. He looked like they were having a good time. That's all I'm saying.
Well, you win a World Series in a town that doesn't get many of those. You're kind of giving carte blanche. Like I kind of
he can do whatever he wants.
Yeah. What can you? Same thing with Mahomes. What can he do that's going to get him in trouble? I'm thinking not much.
Yeah. And he, by the way, he just sold his house. And did you hear that?
Yeah.
Now he's not far from you. That house, is it?
No. He got tired of people stalking him, I'm guessing, probably. Poor bastard.
Because wasn't it it was right on the thoroughfare, right? I mean, in retrospect, not the best place to buy a house.
Nope.
He didn't know.
No, he thought he was good. Okay.
Sorry about the...
No, you're fine. This is what it's supposed to be fun and back and forth. Chiefs superfan. 1989, who was the starting quarterback of your Kansas City Chiefs in 1989?
Oh, okay, wait.
I have an audio...
Elvis Gerbach.
Good guess, but no.
No?
It's first year of Marty with Carl Peterson. Second hint.
You broke up a little bit the first hint. What was that hint?
It was the first year of Marty Schottenheimer and Carl Peterson's administration of the Chiefs.
Okay, so it's Marty Ball time.
It's Marty Ball.
Oh, but it was the first year, so it wasn't Joe Montana.
Nope. 89. This is tough.
Dude, you know what? I think I made a good guess.
You made a great guess. Did you give up?
I'm going to kick myself. I just can't quite pin it down.
The totally forgettable, clearly, Steve DeBerg.
Oh, shoot. I would never have got that. Did he even last the season?
I don't know. But they won 8 games that year, which is the first winning season for the Chief in a number. Marty made him much better. I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah, and God bless him. You know, he had his end of his life was he had the illness, the Alzheimer's, I believe.
Yep.
Marty. And but we just lose him? We did, yeah.
But, like a year ago.
You know, he kind of gave Chiefs respectability there for a while at least. And then Joe Montana, I mean, it was the AFC Championship game? They lost
against Buffalo.
Right? Against Buffalo. Ugh. And then of course with Jim Kelly, right?
Yep.
And of course they never won.
Nope.
They still haven't.
Nope.
Yeah.
Sure
so
haven't.
go get your shine box, Josh Allen. Sorry.
All right, my last 1989 Kansas City factoid, because I found this fun. So in October of 1989, the Rolling Stones had their farewell tour for Steel Wheels.
Steel Wheels, right? You're not the only one.
Right? The opening act, The Fabulous Living Colour. And
see that right there, man.
And the audience that day in Arrowhead Stadium, a very young, very dark-haired Jamie Green. I was there. It was lovely. It was wonderful.
Yeah, I bet you looked a lot like your eldest son.
Pretty much the same.
Now. Yeah, you too, by the way. You too. Oh, my God. Are you related? Yes, of course. It's crazy. Oh, my God. So you saw Living Color, man.
I saw them a couple of years ago, too. They're phenomenal. If you get a chance to see Living Color, go see Living Color.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm fine with the Stones. I'm not one of those people who because I'm a bigger Beatles fan. I'm fine with the Stones, and I like several of their tunes. In my humble opinion, I felt Living Color was the better band that day. But that's
I've heard this too, that some people feel the Stones are the Stones and they know it, and they don't mean to give you a bad show, but it's just they've been doing this for over 50 years. So 60 years almost, right?
All right.
50 years.
So it's 1989 Kansas City. I came here often also because I was 21 and could drink in the bars, but that's a whole nother story that we won't get into today. But for our story, it's an attorney named Donald Pierce, a Kansas City native, who just 5 years before that, he hired a 28-year-old woman named Linda Culbertson to be his legal secretary. Now, Pierce was a Kansas City native, as I said, a literal Eagle Scout who played basketball and football in high school. He then went on to Mizzou to earn a degree in military science. He spent a year in the U.S. Army as a commissioned officer, and then the next 6 years in the Army Reserve as a captain. Then after the military, he goes to law school back at Missouri in Columbia, starts practicing law. 3 years later, he branches off and starts his own law firm. In 1979, Pierce marries Kathy Evans. She would go on to be a vice president of Sprint, which no longer exists. It's T-Mobile, but Sprint was a big deal in Kansas City. His friends described him as a loving, family man, great friend, just a all-around good guy. Now, Linda Culbertson was recently divorced with small children. She took the job and kind of went all in. Super hard worker, tons of energy and enthusiasm. It starts out well, so well, in fact, that Pierce makes her his office manager. Then it starts to go a little wackadoodle, a little crazy. Are you ready?
I'm ready, man.
Okay, so according to her coworkers at the time, she developed, and I'd never heard of this term before, Alex, but apparently erotomania, which is a delusional obsessive love for somebody that's not requited. So she's in love with Don Pierce. In later interviews, Linda would claim that Don and her were having a secret love affair. But those accounts were dismissed by almost everyone, including later the judge that tries her in a murder trial. Now, in an interesting sidebar, when I did all this research, literally the day after she was arrested and the Kansas City Star. The sister of Don Pierce wrote a letter to the Kansas City Star decrying Channel 5, which is our CBS affiliate, of coverage of the murder because they had a person, where they do the shadow, where they put the light behind the person. You can't see him.
Sure.
This person, literally the week of the murder, is claiming that they're having an affair, but that's the only person. And this person would not go on camera.
Yeah.
So this is like this crazy and everything. So people who are going to do like, this is interesting. I'm going to Google this myself. Every kind of thing you can get with a fatal attraction theme, people are talking about it this way. Although I don't know if that's apropos because almost everyone did not think they were having an affair. She was just nuts. Okay. So she's not happy about that Don doesn't love her how she loves Don. So Don's car gets vandalized. Then his wife's car gets vandalized. Then his office gets vandalized. All right. So now we're into October of 1988. On October 18th of that year, Linda claims she's at the office all alone, working late. She also claims that she received several phone calls late that night where the caller would hang up the second that she answers the phone. Then she states she hears loud noises and thought someone had broken into the office. Okay. This is where it gets weird, like really weird. And one of the reasons why I picked this episode, just to see your reaction as I tell you this. The very next day, an attorney who worked there arrives. He was not surprised, and he was very surprised, I'm sorry, to see that Linda was not there already because she apparently also was a workaholic. He goes, looks through the office. He finds her in a closet where she states she's too scared to leave. She claimed the office had been broken into and trashed, which he could see that it had been trashed. And she also said a bunch of office equipment had been stolen. Now, to sell that she was so scared she wouldn't leave the office, she may have left the number 1 and number 2 in that closet.
Holy shit. Oh my God.
She's all in on the cray train, right?
Yeah. All right. You got me there.
Yep. Wrapped up like a deuce in the middle of the night. All right. So Pierce apparently is on vacation on the shit train comes into town. He's pretty pissed off, and he has to cut his vacation short and return to the law firm. He then hires a security firm to, be there in the evenings at his law firm. That security firm hires a gentleman named Everson Jacobs. We're going to hear a little more about him in a moment. And it's a horrible irony. According to reports in the Kansas City Star after the murder, Culbertson and Pierce had a quote-unquote love-hate relationship. There was a bunch of shouting between the two. Apparently, Linda liked to cry a lot in the office. There was a guy that was quoted in the Kansas City Star that did like office supplies. He said like 75% of the time he'd show up, she'd be in tears. So, according to an attorney, Robert Lang, who worked there, he quit the firm 1 month before the murder. He said that Culbertson, quote, thrived in having the office in turmoil. And an attorney who did not want to be identified said, quote, the office just easy for me to say, Jesus Christ. The office just kept getting more and more bizarre. It really wasn't an office anymore. It became a soap opera. Here we go. So Linda decides to start a friendship with this Everson Jacobs. Jacobs was just 21 years old at the time. Culbertson told Jacobs that she and Pierce were having an affair and that Pierce was abusive. Jacobs told investigators later that he believed all of it because he heard Culbertson and Pierce arguing at night with fights that sounded like, quote, husband and wife fights. So, on the evening of June 7th, 1989, around 10 p.m., police received a frantic 911 call from a woman who was screaming at the top of her lungs. I will put in the show notes, you can hear the recording of this. It's to the point that the guy, I'm sure, is like, whoever took the 911 call is holding his ear, closed. And she's like, like that. It's horrible. The caller on the phone identifies the address at 1111 Grand, which is the offices on the 3rd floor of Pierce and Associates. Upon their arrival at the offices, they can still hear this woman screaming outside, like on the street. She's that fucking loud, man.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. So they slowly and very carefully walk up. They go inside the building. They ascertain there's nothing on the 1st floor. As they get to the 2nd floor, they can hear the sound of an elevator door trying to close over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Then they get up to the 3rd floor where the offices are. They see blood all on the floor on the way to the elevator.
Like a like a trail,
Yep.
like drips, or like something that dragged.
Like a trail of blood where he had drug himself to the elevator.
Oh, wow.
His attaché case was stuck in the elevator door. That's what the door of the elevator was trying to close. Attaché case would hit, and then it would reopen over and over again. This poor guy, he's inside. He's dead. He was shot a total of 3 times. First time in the knee, second time in the chest, third time a point blank range with a sawed-off shotgun. Did I mention that?
Oh,
In his right eye.
oh God, really?
Yep.
Oh,
So the police. Oh my God. How awful. They seal the building off, which is standard procedure, and they begin searching floor by floor for evidence. They find a crazed, that was the description, apropos,
Crazed.
I think, Linda Culbertson, who is so nutty and babbling, like incoherent babbling, that they have to physically carry her out of the building. Up on the 6th floor, they discover that security guard, Everson Jacobs, that we just talked about. He's tied up and gagged. They also find a sawed-off shotgun wrapped in like cloth and a closet in the office, law offices.
Okay.
They believe it could be the murder weapon because they found some shotgun casings in that elevator we just talked about. All right. This is not, remember how last episode he was smart and he could evade capture for a while, right?
Oh, Burdella, yeah. Mm-hmm.
We don't have this issue in this case. This is going to go a lot. It's going to go a lot quicker. So back at police headquarters, which is, as if anybody knows Kansas City, is downtown. It's probably about 3 blocks from where these murders happen.
Yeah.
They start questioning Linda Culbertson, and they start getting various stories. Her first story, the initial story, is that she heard from her office a man shout at Donald and then heard gunfire. When she was asked, why is there a gun in your office? Because they found a second shotgun in the office. She stated it was needed because of earlier break-ins. She also just casually mentioned in all this, oh, by the way, I was having a relationship with Donald and he was sexually abusing me, which makes them kind of like, what? So they're skeptical of this story. So they start pressing on her, right? Kind of, giving her a hard time about it. So she changes her story. Now she's saying she's just covering for the actual murderer, her friend Everson Jacobs. Linda tells investigators Everson had found out that Pierce was using racist slurs, and that's why he killed him. At this point, Linda also states that Jacobs had hired another man to help with the killing, a 19-year-old named Quincy Brown. Now,
no, I'm sorry. Was Everson like minority? Is that what we're talking about here? The slurs. Did you say that? I apologize for that.
No, that's fine. Yeah. So just for people, Donald Pierce was white. Linda Culbertson was white. Both Everson Jacobs, who is the security guard who was tied up, and Quincy Brown are African American.
Okay. Thank you.
So how I read this, Alex, was the second that she could try to, throw blame another way, she makes up this cockamamie story that, this guy's a racist and that's why. So they had not even heard of Quincy Brown, had no idea that there was this third person there until she just said it. So she totally screwed this guy over,
Oh, wow.
So KCPD goes and brings in Everson again and Quincy Brown in for questioning the next morning. This is less than 12 hours after the murder. Almost immediately, Everson confesses that he and Quincy were hired to kill Donald Pierce. And the person that hired them was, you guessed it, Linda Culbertson.
Linda Culbertson, yeah.
She had offered them money, a job, and a Corvette if he killed Pierce. Yeah.
Wait, did it have a license plate that's never mind? Sorry.
It all comes back around, doesn't it?
That's how it works.
So this Everson Jacobs guy is like, oh, I'll just bring in a buddy to help me do it or to do it. So he hires this brown cat who's 19, by the way. Like, really, these guys are young.
Oh man.
So according to Everson, that spring of 1989, Linda in the evenings just asked numerous times if he knew anybody that would kill Donald Pierce for her. Like multiple times. So the night of the murder, Jacobs was tied up by Culbertson and Brown to make it appear that there was another break-in. and that he had been overwhelmed by these supposed thieves. Well, they didn't steal anything, so that was a huge red flare for the KC police department. Now, here's where it gets really where your gut's going to be like, oh my God. So according to court testimony, Brown had shot Pierce twice. First in the knee. So Pierce is going down the hallway trying to get away. Second time, he hits him in the chest with a shotgun.
Ugh.
A horrible moment. Pierce cries out in pain and asks Linda Culbertson for help. He still doesn't know that she's behind this. He thinks that she's going to help him.
So he's like, Linda, oh my God, help me. And geez, can you imagine? Okay, go ahead, go.
No, it's terrible. It's just terrible. So at this point, for lack of a better term, Quincy Brown gets cold feet. Like, he can't do it. He can't kill this guy. Like, he could shoot him, but now that it's this dire, he can't do it. So Linda Culbertson says to Quincy Brown, we have to kill him because otherwise we're going to be in a lot of trouble. She takes the shotgun out of Quincy Brown's hand, points it, and shoots poor Donald Pierce point blank range in the right eye in the shotgun in that elevator. So a stone cold killer, you know?
Can you imagine those last moments for this guy? Abject terror. And then to realize he's being set up by this horrible woman who he thought at least he could somewhat trust.
Yeah. And the fact that the one guy that's in it is the security firm that he hired
security
to pay
guard
for his own money. It's terrible. This case went very quickly. She was arrested within 24 hours. She was still wearing the same outfit that they found her when she was having her wackadoodle moment. She hadn't even had a chance to change her clothes when she was brought in and arrested.
Wow. Whoa.
So all three were convicted. And that stolen office equipment, remember we talked about that she claimed that they were stolen. Turns out it was just another office in the building that she had the keys for. She made that shit up.
Of course.
All this shit up. If you really want to be both horrified and amused, you can look up her current picture. Her mugshot is up where she's smiling at the camera. I me's she's been in prison now for 35 years. Like, she's getting her, employee badge picture.
So she's still, so is she around here or?
She's up in Chillicothe.
Oh.
Brown cut a deal. Now, this is interesting. We should talk about this a little bit. So, even though he's the one that shot twice, and Jacobs never pulled the trigger, but he was, for lack of a better term, the brains behind the thing. Because
at least a co-conspirator, really, right? A full-blown conspirator, right? Okay.
Brown cuts a deal. He got out of prison 3 or 4 years ago. It hasn't been that. So he served over 20 years. But both Jacobs and Culbertson are still in prison in Missouri. Now, one part of this, and you can read all this, we'll put in the show notes for people who can stuff. His defense, Jacobs, was that he was, and I use this term as an actual medical term, not to be deliver stuff, that he was mentally retarded, that his IQ was so low that she manipulated him, and he had no idea. And apparently when they tested him, he was only 1 or 2 points above that level, so he still got life in prison without any court. And there's some chatter, as you would imagine, when this happened. Some columnist at the Star that I didn't recognize, he was probably gone before I got here, talking about how this guy, is up for life in prison, and she didn't even, she did not get the death penalty, and is that a race issue? So there's a lot going on here, but that's one of those things that I had no idea. I'd never heard about this murder. Yeah. I started doing some digging. There are these terrible Oxygen Channel. Do you ever see that?
Oh God, yeah. Bad.
They have an episode about this, and it's terrible. And she's interviewed in one of these, Alex, and she looks fucking crazy.
Wait, they interviewed Culbertson?
Yeah.
They went to Chillicothe.
They found what she was, before she got convicted. Early on, like, this is still like 1989. There was some footage of her before she went away to prison where she was. But a lot of coworkers and all tons of KCPD guys came out. In fact, one of the police officers said something stuff is like, you finally think that you've seen it all. You've done this job long enough. But this one shocked him. He was surprised by this. He was horrified by this. So that's that. This is the 1986 Linda Culbertson murder. The only thing else I will say, you know how we've had these weird, like, where these locations are. So episode 1 is now a high-end apartment where John Lazia met his end. We talked about the second episode that location on Charlotte is now got a garage on it and kind of an empty field. Alex, have you ever been to the Ambassador Hotel in downtown Kansas City?
Well, yeah, actually, it's now the it's not the. Oh, is that right?
So when I'm doing all this research, because like I want to get out, so I get all the star articles, and you start with that, and then you start looking at some YouTube clips, and you start reading. There's a ton of crime blogs. Right. And on one of these YouTube clips, somebody just casually mentions, "Oh yeah, I was in the Ambassador Hotel having a drink at the bar, and the bartender told me this story," and I was like, does the Ambassador Hotel want people knowing that there was a brutal murder in their building? Well, I'm guessing that this is not a sanctioned thing by the owners, but maybe.
But isn't that kind of like the conceit for this very show, where it's like if it's our conceit is that it's got to be at least 30 years ago. We don't talk about recent stuff, obviously, and we try very hard not to overly sensationalize any of it. Right. But I don't know. But a hotel, because how many ghosts tours and that stuff. I mean, what do you think? I'm a marketer. I mean, I can see where they might actually not be, worried about that.
I'd be okay if I'm having a drink there. I don't know if I want to stay there that night. Then I don't know. Would you be all right with that?
Well,
and it's not a ghost thing. It's just a creep factor.
It's interesting because, and I'm going to ask you about this. I'm interviewing George Stevens Jr. again on my other podcast, Mysterious Goings On, and his offices that he was in. I'm trying to remember exactly where. Sorry, he's guy founded the AFI, American Film Institute, and the offices where they first set up, a murder suicide happened, and it was a bedroom, and it became his office. I'm dying to ask him. Pardon the pun. Apparently, you had no problem making that your office. So, I mean, I don't know. My house, when I first house we bought here together, my first house, it's now over 100 years old, just a little bit over. You got to wonder what happens in these walls. So I don't know. I mean, you don't strike me as being superstitious that much, or do you even believe in ghosts and stuff? Or you just like just general principle? I just don't want to be around where somebody got their brains. Just gives me.
When I go to a hotel room, I just want to relax. I don't want to think about this poor bastard. And I mean, and we talked about this early on too. It's like we'll make fun of the murderers. Like I have no problem with the murderers and her. I always feel sorry for these people, and this is just one of these things. Like you have to question yourself. If he doesn't hire her, is he with us today?
Right.
And one of the reasons why I also picked this, and I know the vast majority of murders are committed by men, but we have some female murderers, and this is one. And she was, I mean, you talk about she took her time, she propped these guys up, and she fed these guys information over time and enticed them, and this was not a crime of passion. This was very cold and very calculated. And the thing that I found the most chilling by far is the fact that she just took the gun right out of the guy's hand. It's like, I'll do it. No trepidation, no problem, no nothing. For a guy that she'd worked with for 5 years, that's just absolutely astounding to me.
But they never made a connection between Linda and Pierce, right? That nothing ever happened as far as they could determine, right?
No. They just think, Jake was brought in his buddy. He was 19 and wanted some money. And that was it. But yeah, that's why, Jacobs and both Culbertson are still there in prison all these years, decades later. It is a crazy thing. Like I said, the family has said from day one that no, Donald Pierce was not having an affair. It's interesting when you read the headline, some papers just take it as it did happen. The only person that said it did happen was Linda Culbertson. Don's widow, Don's friends, Don's parents were interviewed. All said absolutely not. And she clearly has a real ease at lying since she's lied about everything else. So that's why I think the fatal attraction thing to me seems a little lazy. I could see on the surface why you'd think
because,
It's to me, it's more interesting to me is like what made her snap so much that she got to, and she was an idiot. The receipts for the gun casings, the shotgun shells, they found that in her house. Like, I mean, she was toast right off the bat.
And I sincerely, I have been the object of a somewhat obsessive relationship. I've been stalked, and it's weird because what was it called again? The condition auto.
Hang on a second, I have it written down. It's erotomania.
I know you do.
Erotomania.
Erotomania. And it was just the creepiest thing because I did at one point with this person, this was a long time ago, felt like we would joke. I just feel like she's going to boil my rabbit, because she was just that weird, this person. And from what I understand, she didn't get much better after I finally escaped from her clutches. So I've seen that type of thing. But what gets me is how the idée fixe, this guy Pierce became her fixation. And if she couldn't have him, I mean, she could turn the poor guy's face into hamburger, and it's just horrible, And I don't know. It's just very interesting. Now you've got me. I hate to say it, but now I'm going to go dig into this one. I want to learn more about this. This is
because it's fascinating, right?
Picture.
Oh my gosh! Yeah. I will put that in the show note. I will put in the show notes where you can link and see the picture because. You're like, Nana's off a rock. I mean, that's what it kind of looks like. But it's not just this stuff for rock. She's a murderer. She just, we can have this discussion. Somebody messes with my kid, right? I'm going to kill that person. And you say that stuff. But to somebody to actually look them in the face and to pull the trigger and just blow them to bits, that's cold, man.
That is cold. I mean
even this Quincy Brown cat, he got cold feet and he's like, I can't do this. And she didn't have any problem.
The most chilling thing for me is that I have enough imagination to imagine him dragging himself to this elevator, and then he thinks she can help him, or as you said, it reminded me the security guard, and it turns out no, sorry, my friend, we're taking you out, and that's just horrific. That is just, I mean, what went through his, you know what I mean? Just I've always been a little fixated on last moments of people, particularly in times of extremis. It was not a peaceful death in his bed surrounded by loved ones. Let's just put it that way. And that's what creeps me the F out. That really does.
Because I think he was 39 and you and I are in our 50s now. 39 seems really young.
He was 39.
39 years old.
And he was a former military guy, an accomplished attorney,
literal
family man. He had kids?
No kids. He and his wife didn't have kids. Now she has 3 kids.
Since then.
She had 3 kids.
Oh, no.
He was divorced.
Culbertson. Okay. The murderer. Okay.
So her ex-husband had to take over when she got. Anyway. So that's it. Like, this is one I've never heard of. It's crazy. It's something that's happened in our lifetime. I was certainly in Kansas City quite a bit that summer. But the first I heard of it. So I will let everybody in the show notes. So that's going to do it for this time. It's on you next time. What do you got for my hint?
All right. You want your hint? All right.
Here we go.
Here we go. Okay. So usually what we do with these hints is we give you a year or at least a range, right? And then the hint, right? So, okay. So here we go. Your hint is, and folks listening at home, remember, we're back every month. So you have time to think about this too. Maybe you'll guess right. 1960 is the year. Diary of a Mad Housewife.
I like it. Did Betty Draper have a drink? I think I need to have a Betty Draper drink, right?
Could be, my friend. Could be.
All right. Until next time. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll be back in 1 month. And as I always say, Alex, Mom loves me best.
I know. It's true.
Bye, people.
Grammy Award-winning violinist Joshua Bell returns to the San Francisco Symphony. Experience the power, precision, and passion of one of the world's great violinists. Hear Joshua Bell in Brahms' famed Violin Concerto with the Academy of St. Martin in the Fields. That's Joshua Bell, March 1st at the San Francisco Symphony. Tickets at sfsymphony.org.